Hello Battle Cats players, my name is Chance and welcome to my guide. Today we have a very interesting cat in store for all of you. Interesting not only in the lore and world building around him, but also within the actual playstyle of the unit itself. May I humbly introduce you to Baby Cat. This uber rare unit can be unlocked by playing the rare cat capsules, more specifically during the Dynamite's Gotcha event. And as always, it is my hope that by exploring really all there is to know about Baby Cat, you can make a more informed decision on how to best use them, as well as how far to invest into them, if at all. Let's first get started by taking a look at Baby Cat's evolutions. Starting out with Baby Cat himself, whose evolution reads, a baby cat that still can't do anything by itself. Luckily, Daddy is here to help, might knock back floating and aliens area attack. Then at level 10 it evolves into Baby Cats, being plural, whose description reads, brought along its baby sister, Dad had his work cut out for him, might knock back floating and aliens, area attack. Then at level 30, as well as the introduction of some Catfruit and some additional XP, it becomes Cats in the Cradle. Even 7 kittens together can't do much. Luckily, Dad's still keeping an eye out for bullies. Area wave attacks, knockback floating / alien. And if you're curious who the father is, well, that's none other than Titan Cat, believe it or not. Now let's move on to a brief overview of the cat's performance, as well as discuss some pros and cons. Firstly, as far as class is concerned, well, either in the normal or evolved form, Baby Cat or Cats is deemed to be a nuker and a melee unit. Nukers have usually slow attack rates but do very large amounts of damage per hit, and typically they have a damage boosting ability against one or more traits. Melee units are really any unit with a range of 1 to 249. And while in its true form it is considered to be a nuker and a waver. Wavers being units with wave attack or mini wave abilities. Most are also snipers with a few exceptions, and Baby Cat is one of those exceptions. The wave ability needs to be a major aspect for the unit's use for it to be considered as a waver, and as a result, Baby Cat is of course considered one, or I guess Cats in a Cradle at this point. As far as pros, you have high health and attack power, short recharge time and relatively low cost, and decent movement speed while in its true form. Under cons, short range, long attack rate, and animation, which is very telling of a nuker or a melee unit. Under other considerations, you have a 30% chance to knock back floating and alien enemies, 100% chance to perform a level 2 wave attack while in true form, and immune to freeze, which is actually pretty helpful. Overall, I actually really like the way this unit plays. It's fun, interesting, and seems to make a pretty noticeable difference on the battlefield, certainly while in its true form. Now then, let's actually check out some gameplay as well as discuss strategy for this unit. In his first 2 forms, it's actually a little bit deceiving. When you look at this unit's stats, it's actually very impressive. However, there's one massive component to Baby Cat and Baby Cats that really hold them back, and that is its range. Unfortunately, because of the way this unit moves as well as its attack animation, it is very likely for it to be taking a lot of hits, making it lucky to get 1 or 2 attacks off before just dying outright. And while compared to other Ubers, it does have a short recharge time and low cost, but it is still an Uber, so its cost and recharge time are still noticeable. To be honest, in its first 2 forms, you might be better off switching it with an Uber tanker, something like Kai or Cat Machine would be pretty useful, as they're likely to really take on a similar role. However, once it gets to true form, there's a very different tone when you're talking about Baby Cat, or at this point, Cats in a Cradle. Basically completely reworking how the cat works, although not as extreme as Bahamut Cat. They gain an extra 100 range, which really just makes this a far better unit in terms of survivability and damage potential. Not to mention a couple other boosted stats like movement speed make it much more usable in longer and later stages. However, the biggest, most notable change is of course the ability to generate a level 2 wave attack. Wave attacks actually have some fairly interesting mechanics in Battle Cats. And functionally, if a unit is hit by both the regular attack animation of the cat as well as the wave animation, it deals twice the damage, basically. The wave animation can also be used to cheese certain base responses, allowing you to damage the base and deal with the enemy it spawns essentially simultaneously. Not to mention the idea of hitting units behind the unit you're attacking is also fairly handy for units with good range. Overall, wave attacks are largely considered to be one of the most useful abilities, and that's part of the reason why they have their own class completely dedicated to them. Now then, moving on to cat combos, we have only one for Baby Cat. That being Treasured Grandchild. This is a canon startup of the medium variety involving Baby Cat and Kung Fu Cat X. While this cat combo does add a little bit of interesting lore to the game, as far as mechanical use goes, I don't really see it. There might be an argument for zombie and starred alien stages in combination with the right canon, however, outside of that I just don't really see the value. As far as cat fruit needed to true form this unit, you're going to need 6 green fruit, which can be obtained every Monday, 3 red fruit, which can be obtained every Wednesday, 6 blue fruit, which can be obtained every Thursday, 4 yellow fruit, which can be obtained every Friday, and 4 epic fruit, which can be obtained on really any of the fruit stages with the exception of strange and evil, and once you complete an ancient curse, you'll gain access to the growing epic stage for a few hours every weekend, and you can get them there as well. Now then, I'm just going to read out some trivia while flashing a couple graphs pertaining to the stats of Baby Cat and its various evolutions. According to Neko Desenru for Koma, Baby Cat's mother is Princess Punt. The true form name could be a reference to Charlie Chaplin's song, Cats in the Cradle. Now, that's really all the official trivia, however I will point out that the idea of Treasured Grandchild pertaining to Baby Cat and Kung Fu Cat X also makes it fairly likely that Kung Fu Cat X is Titan Cat's father. Which is actually kind of cool world building. I can see the resemblance more or less, but I guess I could say that between any two cats. There's not a whole lot of lore in this game that you can infer directly from gameplay, but it is nice that that little component exists. As far as other updates go, I will say I am getting to be a bit exhausted right now. I work about 10-hour days, 4 days a week, and to come home after that and then spend 4 hours making a video definitely takes a lot more out of me than I'd care to admit. So I may be taking a break, probably just for tomorrow and maybe the day after. I'm just going to use it as time to catch up on sleep, do a little bit of house cleaning, and I have to do laundry, so I don't know, between that and relaxing, I think that's a fairly good time frame, basically a weekend. I'll do my best not to do this too often, but work's been getting kind of busy, and to be honest, my energy levels are slipping pretty quickly. Of course, I'll likely keep responding to comments throughout those days, but outside of that, just don't expect any videos, unless for whatever reason I get a burst of energy and decide to get a couple done. But that's what I'm thinking right now, and I think that's pretty fair. We've been going basically a video a day for the past almost 2 months now, or just over 2 months, I forget. So, yeah, pretty good streak, and yeah, I think a couple days off here or there won't break the channel. At least I hope not. Now then, let's move on to talents. As far as available talents go, Baby Cat has access to Slow, which adds a 40% chance to slow units for 0.8 seconds, and improves by 0.13 seconds per level up to a total of 2 seconds for an NP cost of 235. Resist Slow, which reduces slow duration by 16%, improves by 6% per level up to 70% for a total NP cost of 170. Curse Immunity for a cost of 100 NP. And Defense and Attack Buff, which increase their respective traits by 2% per level up to 20% for a total NP cost of 175 each. Now, because of the way you're going to be using Cats in the Cradle, virtually none of these are must-takes. The Slow in theory could be interesting, but it doesn't really do too much, and it's fairly expensive, so it's not really advisable. Resist Slow will almost never come into play for the actual game. Curse Immunity is interesting, but you're not really using this Cats for his special abilities, so this doesn't really matter either. Which only leaves Defense and Attack Buff, which do go a fair way towards making this cat overall more dangerous and usable, but at the same time, with how precious a resource NP is and how many units really benefit from it, it's hard for me to recommend any of these in good faith. Now that you know what I think about Baby Cat, let's hear what all of you have to say about him. Cross/01 says, a kid with limitless potential, oh to be young again. I mean, maybe, but like, he's also a baby, so like, he can't really do too much, and I would make an argument that it's, of course, Titan Cat doing the majority of the damage, but yeah, I mean, I guess youth is inherently better than the opposite, I guess? I don't know, it kind of gets complicated. Carson Kamarzi 3959 says, my favorite cat, also very good in true form. I actually really like this cat as well. To say he's my favorite might be not the most accurate statement. However, definitely fun to use. Sesme1IQ says, good anti-alien, and yeah, fair enough, I could probably see that. The ever-present Bee-Eater says, solid in true form, and that's about it, slightly overrated. Yeah, maybe. It definitely makes a difference on the battlefield, and it feels fun to use, so I think that's why a lot of people use it. But in the grand scheme of all of the Ubers and all of the units in the game, you might find better combinations. I'm Freaking Stupid says, don't have them. Fair enough, I hope you get them soon. Pretty good unit. And as always, if you would like to be featured in this part of the video, be sure to check out our community tab and comment on the relevant posts there. And that's really about all I have to say about Baby Cat. It's a pretty good unit. I really like using it. Makes a difference on the battlefield. Very satisfying unit for sure. Are there better ones within its niche? Probably. But if you don't have those, are you okay using this one? Also, yeah, probably. Thank you for everyone listening until this point. I really do appreciate it. Be sure to like and subscribe to get Cat God's blessing on your next gacha roll. And as always, I'll be talking to you all soon.